Hey there, welcome to a brand new episode of Muzikxpress. My name is Twan and this week's vlog is going to be a very special one because in this episode I'm going to answer your questions in a Q&A session. A few weeks ago I posted a video on my YouTube channel in which I asked you guys to come up with some questions for this Q&A session. So it's time now to answer your questions. But before I'm starting with that, please make sure to subscribe to my channel, and very important, also make sure to click the bell button because then you will get a notification the next time a new vlog is online. Alright, it's time to answer some questions. By the way, if I'm pronouncing names incorrectly, I'm very sorry. First question comes from Randy Derricott and he is saying, can you tell a bit more about yourself and how Muzikxpress got started? Yes, when I was about 12, 13 years old, 1986, 1987, I was listening to the radio a lot. I went to the local record stores, you could get like the charts over there. So I could check which tracks were being played in the charts every Friday. So yeah, I listened to the mini mixes from Ben Liebrand, huge inspiration for many famous Dutch DJs. And yeah, because I was listening to the radio so much, it didn't take long before I joined the local radio station Sirius in the south of the Netherlands. That was 1993. So I was about, I think, 18 years old then. Yeah. So there were two guys. They already had a show which was called Baseline. Those guys were Dirk van Bree and Robert Harkens. I'm still in touch with Robert, by the way. So yeah, I joined them for their show. So later the program changed. The name was Dance Mania back then. That show was hosted with Jorg Marinus and Robin Sanders. So I did work for the local radio station for like 17 and a half years. I did a lot of interviews there as well. And yeah, that was always good fun. So in the same time, 2001, I started working for trance.nu as a volunteer. I wrote news items, managing the forums, and of course doing interviews. So I did that for a total of 9 years. That was amazing. So yeah, I always enjoyed doing stuff like music-wise and especially interviews. And then after a long time of not doing anything, some people suggested like, hey, you should start a vlog and, like talk about music because you're such a music nerd. So yeah, that's what I did. I had like zero experience with like video editing or doing interviews on video. So yeah, I had to get a camera, lights, microphones, video editing software, and it wasn't that easy at first, but yeah, I still enjoy doing it. It's also a lot of work, I have to tell you that. But it always makes me happy when I see like people writing nice stuff about the interviews and the vlogs that I'm doing. So that's how Muzikxpress started. The second question comes from, there are a few people that actually asked this. Kyle Azevedo and Anna R. Is there a producer that you haven't interviewed yet and that is on top of your list? There are a few, but the one who's on top of my wish list is for sure Vincent de Moor. I think every month he gets requested like once or twice by people like, hey, you should do an interview with Vincent de Moor. Trust me, I would love to do an interview with Vincent de Moor. I'm not sure if you guys saw my interview with Ferry Korsten about Vera Kocha Carte Blanche. Yeah, Ferry already says Vincent is a very, very, very private person. I remember when I spoke to Armin, he also says the same, like, yeah, Vincent, he kind of disappeared. I did speak to people that worked with him as well, with other people. And yeah, he's a very private person. He has no social media, no Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever, nothing. So yeah, I don't think it's ever gonna happen. If I will ever have the chance to ask him, I will do that for sure. I actually met him once. That was at the release party of Armin van Buuren's first album, 76, in Club Asta in The Hague. I was talking to Misha Helsloot at the party, and then he said like, oh, did you already spoke to Vincent? I was like, Vincent de Moor? He's like, yeah, he's right over there. So then I spoke to Vincent for like 2-3 minutes. In that time I was already working for trance.nu, so of course I asked Vincent if he was interested in doing an interview. And he said yes. But it never happened. So yeah, during the years when I was doing my trance.nu stuff, I tried like 2-3 times, but every time his manager or somebody from the record company replied like, yeah, no, Vincent is not doing any interviews. So yeah, I have some other people on the wish list as well. For example, Roland Armstrong, aka Rollo. He did OT Quartet, Hold That Sucker Down. I would love to do an interview with him about that. Or the Fateless track, Insomnia. Yeah, Rollo did some amazing tracks and remixes. Always been a big fan. So yeah, I would love to do an interview with him. But I think he's also a pretty private person. He did some interviews, but yeah, never say never, right? So fingers crossed. Or Rollo, if you're watching, I would love to interview you. Yeah, Maurice Engelen, aka Praga Khan, Lords of Acid. He's still on my wish list. William Orbit, Nile Rodgers. Yeah, there's a lot of people on the wish list. But yeah, on top of the wish list, I think the two people that I would really love to talk to, Vincent Amor and Rollo, because yeah, they're like my personal favorites and pretty hard to get. The next question comes from Ravy Steps. Who would you most like to interview that is out of reach? Like somebody who's too famous or won't do an interview. I'm a huge fan of U2, so yeah, I would love to sit down with Bono and ask him some questions. Yeah, the guys from Daft Punk, that would of course be amazing. Yeah, Moby would be great. The KLF, I'm also a big fan of the KLF, or Kraftwerk. But yeah, I don't really think Kraftwerk is doing interviews either, so yeah. A question from Fred Leo. I see in your videos that you have a massive record collection. What is the most precious record to you? I think Ferry Corsten presents Gruyella Anahera. There are only 100 copies of this promo vinyl that was handed out in October 2015 at the Amsterdam Dance event. So yeah, they're like signed and numbered, and yeah, I'm very happy that I'm the proud owner of one of these. Besides that, I got a signed record by U2, well, by The Edge and by Anton Corbijn, who took the picture of the cover of the Joshua Tree album. So yeah, I still hope that the other guys can sign the vinyl as well, but that's going to be difficult, of course. So yeah, that one is pretty special to me. I have some limited edition box sets from U2, Fateless, BT. So it's difficult to just pick one. Oh yeah, the white label promo of Bartes on the Move. Yeah, Bart is a good friend of mine, Bart Klaassen. It was his very first ever release, and yeah, we had no idea that it would become such a big hit. So yeah, that one is very special to me as well. And I hope I can still do an interview with Bart in the near future about On the Move. Yeah, so I think those are my most precious records. Another question about my record collection, David K. In every video I'm impressed by your collection. Is there a special way of sorting your records? Yes, otherwise it's impossible for me to find something. So the records are all sorted alphabetically by label. So yeah, it starts by label and then the catalog number. So it's easier for me to find something back. I used to sort everything by producer, but you know, sometimes you have like a vinyl and then there's like, for example, it's a track by Ferry and it has a remix by Chesto and by Armin. So yeah, where am I gonna put that record then? So yeah, I decided to put everything sorted by label. So it's like a lot easier for me to find stuff back. The CDs, on the other hand, like the ones in the background, those are all sorted by alphabetically by band or act. So yeah, we start with the A, like ABBA, Adele, ABC. So yeah, that's how I sort like most of the CDs. But the dance-related CDs, they're usually sorted by producer. So all my Chesto CDs, all my Armin CDs, all my Ferry CDs, Rank 1, ATB, stuff like that, that's all sorted by producer. The next question comes from Sayed Safan. What is your personal favorite music genre and why? Well, I mostly listen to the radio, to be honest. In the car I listen to the radio, but in the car I like to listen to mostly like a bit like the Anjuna Deep stuff. Ben Böhmer, I love stuff from Ilke Klein. Yeah, things like that. That's what I really like. Taiko, big fan of them. But yeah, every once in a while I put on like an old CD, like one of the Magic CDs by Chesto or stuff like that. So I do listen to new music on the radio because I want to stay up to date with like what's going on. You know, like I like Dua Lipa, for example. Of course, I'm forgetting a lot of names now. Oh yeah, I also really like still covers, still corners. I discovered them via YouTube, and yeah, big fan. So I immediately got like all their albums. But yeah, I like a lot of stuff, like The Killers, Coldplay, Muse, Moby, Fateless, Enigma. Yeah, I have a very I like to listen to a lot of genres. I don't like to listen to just one genre only, because to me that's boring. The next question comes from Jens Linsen. Which interview about which track totally blew your mind because of the story behind it? I did 3 interviews with the guys from the Space Brothers, Ricky Simmons and Steve Jones, and I absolutely love the interview where they talk about Shine, the track which I did under their project named the Space Brothers. First of all, these guys are like awesome. We had like so much fun even during the interview, and also when the interview was done and before the interview. But yeah, I was really impressed by their stories and the story behind Shine. It's a very emotional story, very special. But yeah, we also did laugh because the way how they came up with the name the Space Brothers is quite funny, and just the interaction between those two guys, it's like, yeah, you have to see it. I think that's definitely one of my favorite interviews as well. And but yeah, I really love the story behind it. Chris Nebroso is asking me, what has become your own personal favorite interview so far and why? I did an interview with Steve Helstrip from the Thrill Seekers, and he's telling the story behind Synesthesia. And yeah, that was his big breakthrough track. And yeah, I'm not even going to mention one, but he tells at least like 3 or 4 stories in that interview. And yeah, that's funny. You have to check it out. It was really good. And I'm really happy that Steve was willing to share those stories, because yeah, some of them, they were like unknown until that time. So yeah, I hope I can do another interview with Steve when this whole COVID stuff is getting a bit better, because yeah, he told me he has more stories. So yeah. Several people ask me this question, for example, Paul Burkhardt and Todd Stevens. Are you a musician/producer yourself? No, I'm not a musician or a producer myself. I cannot even play an instrument. I don't regret a lot of things in my life, but there's one thing that I kind of regret. When I was younger, my parents wanted to put me on music lessons, like so I could play like an instrument, but I wasn't really interested in that. I rather did play with my Lego or hang out with my friends, and yeah. So I do regret that, because I would love to play guitar or piano, for example, because yeah, I think that would be great. Maybe one day, but yeah. And regarding producing, when I was younger, my parents had like a Commodore 64 computer. There was this program called Fast Tracker. So I produced some stuff there, but it was like just for fun, nothing that you really want to hear. I did play some of the remixes that I made on the local radio station then. Got some good reviews, but some good feedback, but yeah, I'm not a producer. Then I got some questions from Takax Peter. He's saying, trance, acid, house or rave, you can only choose one. Well, if I can only choose one, it will be trance. Then he's asking me, if you can choose to interview the true story of a Scooter song, which one would it be? Scooter has a lot of songs that I would love to know more about. But I think my personal favorite is Endless Summer, because it's like a very happy song, and yeah, I'm curious about the story behind that one. The last time Scooter was in the Netherlands, I tried to, I emailed their management for an interview, but I never got a reply, so maybe one day. He's also asking me like if I could choose about which U96 song, U96, Das Boot or Love Sees No Color. I love I love their stuff. I think I almost have everything in my collection. But yeah, I think Love Sees No Color would be a good one, also because of the message behind it. Todd Stevens is asking me, how many records do you own? I think roughly all the CDs and the records together, it will be like 20,000 right now, and it will be like 50-50 CD and vinyl. Nicholas T. Who was your favorite trance producer / remixer and DJ from the old days, and which song got you into trance music? Always been a big fan of the stuff of Ferry Corsten, the old stuff from Armin van Buuren, Benno de Goeie. I like the whole Rank 1 stuff in general, their productions and remixes. Carlo Resort. But yeah, also like Lange, Solarstone, Chicane, Matt Derry. yeah, and the song that got me into trance, yeah, System F, Out of the Blue. Check out the interview, by the way. It's yeah. So yeah, I think if I have to choose one, that would be that one. But yeah, a special mention for Chicane Offshore, because yeah, such a beautiful track. Angelo Fiume is asking, how long did it take you to collect so many CDs and vinyls? I started to collect in 1991. Well, that was when I bought my first CD. That was the CD maxi single of Anastasia by T99. I heard that track on the radio and I was like, what is this? I need to have this. I had no CD player, but yeah, I decided to buy the CD so I could play it. He's also asking, what is the most expensive CD or vinyl you bought on Discogs? There are some records in my collection that are quite worth some money, but I don't really feel like selling them. Luckily, I bought like a lot of the stuff back in the day for the normal amounts. For example, some of the Bonsai stuff or the Anjuna Beat stuff, that's pretty expensive. I did buy the Chicane album, Far From the Maddening Crowds. I had the CD already, but I wanted to have the vinyl. That wasn't very cheap. And some years ago, I managed to get it signed by Nick, aka Chicane. So yeah, I think that was the one that I bought on Discogs. That was the most expensive. That was probably that one. Next question comes from Will Daniel. You have been involved in the music business in multiple roles. Which of these did you enjoy the most, and are there any particular highlights that you're the most proud of? As some of you might know, I used to work for Ferry Corsten for 16 years. I did like stuff behind the scenes, social media. I used to make the newsletters. When there was still a forum, I did maintain the forum. And I've been involved in everything like regarding his radio show Corsten's Countdown. So because of that, we had several trips abroad, which was like awesome for like live shows. So we went to New York for at least 3 times for some shows. The first time was for Corsten's Countdown episode 250. That was like an 8-hour live broadcast from Sirius XM in New York. That was amazing. Funny story, when we were there in their building, we were hosting the show from a studio which they call it the fishbowl studio. It's like completely glass, so when people come in the building, in the office complex, at the entrance, they will see the studio like straight away. So they have like live gigs there. I think the day before we were there, Nora Jones was there. Anyway, Ferry was like doing the show. I think it was hour number 3, and then at the entrance we saw a lot of stuff happening. People were like, so we were like, oh, that must be probably like a famous person. And yes, indeed. We were trying to figure out what was going on. So then I saw someone. I was like, hey, yeah, it's this rock dude. And I was like, who is it again? And then I was like, oh, it's Ronnie Wood from the Rolling Stones. So yeah, when he passed the studio where we were broadcasting, he was probably on his way to another studio for an interview or whatever. So yeah, he was checking inside what was happening. So yeah, he was like waving at us. So we were like, so yeah, someone from the Rolling Stones did wave at me. Later we also did some other shows, the Corsten's Countdown New Year specials. That was also 2 times from New York. We did a summer special live from Dublin, another 8-hour show. Corsten's Countdown 500 was from Ferry's hometown Rotterdam, 8 hours. And was it November? Yeah, I think it was November. Ferry did host Corsten's Countdown 700, which was the last Corsten's Countdown show ever. That was 3.5 hours. And I don't work for Ferry anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, I was still there to witness some stuff behind the scenes. And I even got a very nice shout out from Ferry. So thanks again, Ferry. So yeah, those were definitely my highlights. Will is also asking me, what is your guiltiest pleasure? That's Gigi D'Agostino and L'amour toujours. He was actually in the Netherlands as well last year for some 90s event. And I tried to get in touch for an interview, but yeah, no reply. But to be honest, I don't think he speaks English, so yeah, but that would have been a nice one for an interview as well. Jason Briley, he's asking, Alive or Dead, is there one tune that you haven't interviewed the producer about yet that you wish you could? Yes, Frankie Knuckles about Your Love, that would have been a great one. Peter Slaghuis, aka Hit House, about Jack to the Sound of the Underground. He sadly passed away like a long time ago. But I did an interview about Jack to the Sound of the Underground with Peter Slaghuis fan Jerry Beke. Check it out. Peter was like a pioneer, and I'm sure if he was still alive, he would be doing some amazing stuff right now. Also some people that are still alive that I would love to do an interview with. Yeah, I mentioned him before, Rollo, about OT Quartet, Hold That Sucker Down, or Fatalist Insomnia. The guys from Rank 1, I've been talking to Benno about it, so yeah, hopefully that will still happen. Yeah, Marco V and Benjamin, and yeah, I have like 50 people on my wish list that I would love to talk to. Oliver Leap, yeah, too many to mention. Victor Kitson, who also has a very amazing YouTube channel. Check it out. He does a lot of great interviews. Victor is asking me, tell us a little bit more about the time between your trance.nu interviewing days and to when you started Muzikxpress. What led you to start doing interviews again? What was the thought process like? Did you miss doing the interviews? Yeah, when I stopped with like local radio and when I stopped with trance.nu, I didn't do any interviews for like a long time. It's not that I was like, oh, I really miss it, but when I started doing Muzikxpress, then I realized that I did miss it, because yeah, I like to know more about certain tracks, how they were born, like the whole history behind it. And there are so many great stories that I never heard before, and I'm pretty sure there are like lots and lots of great stories to tell still. So yeah, hopefully I can still do this for a while. But yeah, what let me I can't really give like an answer why I started doing interviews again. I think just because yeah, I enjoyed it and I was curious to see how it did go, and yeah, I hope that answers your question. Hugo de Graaf, he's saying, Twan, we know you're a huge music fan. If you could listen to one music genre for the rest of your life, what would it be? That's a very difficult question, because as I said before, I like to listen to all kinds of genres. I think when I get, the older I get, the more I like to listen to some like, you know, like more a bit like chill out music, laid back stuff. Yeah, as I mentioned before, Tycho is great to listen to. But yeah, I'd like the Café Del Mar CDs. Ferry Corsten did a really good album under his Fair alias. It's completely chill out. Yeah, I like stuff like that. Robert Harkens, who's my old radio colleague. What is the most difficult part about starting a YouTube channel? How to hold on during the early episodes when the number of views were still low? Yeah, in the beginning, you know, I was already happy that I had like 100 subscribers. So the subscribers went like really like, yeah, it didn't really go super fast. Yeah, sometimes I had like vlogs that had like 100 views, other vlogs got 1,000 views, which was like, oh wow, yes. So yeah, it wasn't always easy. It's like a lot of hard work. I had to figure out everything about video editing. Yeah, so it was a lot of hard work, and I did invest quite a lot of time and money in it as well. But the thing is, it's a hobby for me. It's fun to do, so I enjoy it. I don't really see it as work or like, I have to edit an interview again. So yeah, I do it because I like doing it, and because I'm curious about the whole stories behind all the tracks. But yeah, the most difficult part was when you get like negative feedback, like especially about my English. I mean, like I had like 2 years of English at school, and I know I'm far from perfect. People were like, "Oh, you have like an accent," or blah blah blah. I'm like, "Yeah, duh, I'm Dutch, you know. Of course I have an accent, you know." So yeah, that did bother me like once in a while, but now I just try to focus on the positive comments and just ignore the people that say like that have some negative stuff to say. The thing is, you can never satisfy everybody, and there will always be people that complain, and you know, I think 90% of the comments that I get are positive, so I'll try to focus on those. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop here, and I'm gonna do a second part, because there's still quite a lot of questions, and I don't want to make this vlog like too long. So if you haven't heard the answer to your question yet, stay tuned for another vlog where I will answer more questions. For the people that got their question answered already, thank you so much for sending the question in. I really appreciate it. And thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the vlog. If you did, make sure to give this video a like, leave a comment in the comment section below, and very important, make sure to subscribe. Also make sure to click the bell button, because then you will get a notification the next time a new vlog is online. And as some of you might know, I have a Patreon page. Every month I'm giving away some signed CDs over there. You can read everything on the Patreon page. It's patreon.com/Muzikxpress. The link can be found in the video description. In January, I'm gonna give away a very special package of signed CDs from Ferry Corsten, Sander van Doorn, Leon Boulier, Rolf Elmer from Jam and Spoon, and a lot more. So yeah, make sure to check out my Patreon page for more info. Once again, thanks so much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.